Welcome to the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Avery Henningsen alongside Caden Trunwith as we are set to bring you the North Atlantic Conference men's soccer matchup here featuring the Husson University Eagles taking on the University of Maine at Presque Owls. Caden, this is set to be a good in-conference matchup between these two.
I'm excited. I'm always excited for a North Atlantic Conference play. These are two teams that are going to be physical. They're going to play fast. North Atlantic Conference play, they always come out of the gates firing. These first 5 minutes are so important to set the stage for the game.
And these two are no strangers to each other. The Eagles leading the all-time record 53-22-7. Husson on an 8-game win streak right now. Winning earlier this season back in mid-September with a score of 5-1. A game they were pretty dominant in throughout, Caden.
Yeah, that one goal for Umpy, too, was really just a defensive error, really, for the Eagles on a pass back. The way it came out, tried to play it, got deflected off of Chamberlain. Easy tap in. But other than that, the Eagles really did dominate that game. And that's a game that if you ask an Eagles player, they should have won by more. So I'm really interested to see the motivation that they bring into this one.
Yeah, this Eagles team coming out with a little bit of a different lineup here tonight, Caden. Some guys that we haven't seen as much in the starting group out there. I think it's definitely going to be interesting to see how the Eagles kind of adapt following that loss to Thomas just earlier this week.
And I think it's going to be a lot of growth for them. I think that game is something that you take a step back on your season. You're like, what are we doing? We have to figure this out, and we have to figure it out. I think this is the perfect game for the Eagles to finally look in the mirror. What team are we going to be? They're going to bring it into this game, and we're going to see a whole different Eagles squad.
And here highlighting one of the players to watch for Presque, Raymar Shirley, 4 goals on the season, has really been the biggest offensive weapon for the Owls over the last few seasons. I know I've done some of these Husson games for 3 years now. Shirley's a name that's come up time and time again when the Eagles take on the Owls.
Yeah, out of Lake Worth, Florida, he has 4 goals on the year with 1 assist. He was the NAC's second team in 2023. I mean, you got to slow him down if you want to have a chance to win this game.
And looking over at the Eagles, it's going to be Mario Alvarez, a player that hasn't played a whole lot this season, had a few injury concerns at the start of the year, but someone that both of us, I think, consider to be one of the keys for this Eagles midfield and kind of that transition from defense to offense for Husson.
Absolutely. If you're going to win the midfield battle, Mario is a perfect player to have out there. He's going to facilitate. He's going to make that defense to offense transition a lot easier for you. Not only that, he's going to be the set piece guy, right? As soon as the Eagles get a set piece, whether that's a corner, free kick, even maybe a penalty, he's going to be the one to take it, and he's normally a guy to hit it from any range.
Yeah, how many highlights have we seen from Alvarez? Couple corners last year, couple free kicks as well. He's someone who can really kind of change the game from those dead position plays that are really the biggest difference makers, I think, in close games.
And that's something we saw the Eagles be so dominant in last year.
And we're going to send it to break here, and we'll be right back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. And underway here at Boucher Field, the Eagles with possession right now, something we'll see a lot of here today, Caden. The Eagles team, a very dominant kind of European-style possession of play out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen that work for them very well, but the other day against Thomas, that's something that we didn't see work for them. You know, it was something that they were possessing it too much and not attacking as much. I think today is really should be focused on getting the ball to the net, finding ways to generate offense on the other side of the field, not winning the midfield battles here in the middle.
And this Eagles team already different formation out there, Caden. I think just looking down on their field, it looks like switching to more of a 3-back line. Alvarez playing kind of that holding midfielder play, kind of that pivot wheel from the defense to the offense that we mentioned.
Yeah, this is a little bit more of an aggressive formation, only going with the 3-back line. I mean, typically we normally see them run the 3-back line, but they have the 2 wingers who just go all the time. But this 3-back line really opens up the real wingers, the attacking wingers.
And that's the Storm who loses his footing in the box there. It's eventually going to bounce out to Nogueira, but he's going to find Alvarez at the top. He's going to get one off there, but not a whole lot behind it, Caden. Now will lead to Presque Isle's potential first possession of this contest. Presque Isle wearing the all-blue uniforms, moving from your left to right, while Husson in the all-gray winning that punt off of the wing. This sun right now, Caden, is probably pretty tough out there for them. It can be difficult at this time of day where the two teams have that sun going over the top of the press box.
Yeah, this is a beautiful field, but this is the one negative it has. When it gets this time of day, the sun is brutal on these players. Not only the players, the goalies as well. It becomes increasingly hard to catch a ball, to play the ball, see the field when it is so bright out there.
And how many times last year did we see that play both to the advantage and the disadvantage of the Eagles? There's plays where it was just kind of that ball gets lost up in the sun. That one trying to chip it over the top. It'll be interesting, Caden, to see how the Eagles, this one almost finding a way. It's going to be the Eagles' first corner kick of the game. But it's going to be interesting, Caden, to see how they work through this new formation. I think this is a good game for Husson to kind of try to switch up some of that stuff before we're going to have these couple tough conference matchups coming up at the end of this week with games against both Farmington and Maine Maritime. That's not teams you want to be changing the way you play out there against. And this one bent in towards the front post. Shot chance there, but knocked away by the defense. And it's going to eventually stray its way back out to Parkin, who's going to send one towards the back post, but too hard on that one. And it will stray wide for a goal kick.
Yeah, we've seen that corner kick work out very well in the Eagles' favor so far this season. That bunch formation right up next to the goalkeeper, it just creates chaos, something that you love to see in a corner kick when the ball just bouncing around. Eagles didn't make the Owls pay, but the Owls have to be really noticeable on that in the near future.
And the Eagles, earlier in the season, we mentioned a little bit in that pregame, winning by a score of 5-1 over the Owls up in Presque Isle. Saw goals from Nogueira, Neto, Gasser, and Molina alongside Mora. Molina out for this contest and the next one for the Eagles, one of their key defensive players, receiving the red card back in that game against Thomas. So he'll be missing for the next couple.
Yeah, and that's a big piece. I mean, they were missing him to start the year. You could really see it on the back line. The Eagles do not have a lot of experience on the back line. They do now that the set of Woods and Blanco have really set in, become a lot better in their set positions at central back. But Molina was someone who really turned that defense to offense. And without him, they're going to see this new formation now, trying to make something work without them.
And we'll see how Woods, Blanco, and Weinstein do with that. 3 guys who really last season, obviously Blanco not here, but Weinstein and Woods, both guys who didn't get a whole lot of minutes on the season.
Yeah, they were both plug-and-place guys, right? They would come in, fulfill their job if someone needed a break on the back line in the last 10 minutes or so, and then they would play those 10 minutes, and that's all they would play for the day. But now they're taking in that enhanced role. I'm very excited to see, because I know they're both great players. They're both great kids on campus doing a lot for the community as well. I'm very interested to see what they have to offer.
Yeah, Woods last season playing under 80 minutes. Weinstein up around 400, so he had some experience out there. but not as much at that outside back position. The Eagles really had a couple of those guys, mainly Molina and Domingo Infante, who were two guys who would play all 90 minutes back there on the defensive line. This one out wide. Weinstein with possession of it down the corner. Presque choosing to not really pressure the goalkeeper at all. Eagles with all the time in the world here back on the defensive end. Can be a dangerous tactic, though, passing around between the defenders. We saw that burn Husson against Thomas, who has some fast forwards.
Not only Thomas, it happened in the Bowdoin game as well. They were passing back and forth. I believe Parkin was in at the time, passing back and forth. Turnover cost them, empty net goal.
Oh, just a little too hard on the pass there from Etchevers, trying to find Montigny. Montigny getting one of his first starts of his career, actually his first start of his career here in this contest. See how he does out there on that outside wing position.
We've seen him take a lot bigger of a role than he did in his freshman campaign. He's been coming in a lot more consistently. He's looked really good coming in off the bench, creating a little bit of havoc on that wing. I mean, he's one of the tallest guys on this team, so he's someone that even on those set pieces is going to be an essential unit.
Montigny 6'1". For this Eagles team, that's pretty tall out there. They got a lot of those guys in that kind of 5'6" to 5'10" range. So on that goal kick, these Eagles wingers kind of hold back a little bit, see more of a defensive role. I think when the Eagles don't have possession, that's something we'll see a lot with this formation. 3-back line, but those other midfielders kind of help out there. Especially, I think, when the Eagles gain leads in close games. This isn't quite exactly what they used to run a couple years ago, Caden, but it's kind of similar in that regard of kind of the midfield being really at the focus of this team.
How about the Owls team as well? They're playing a lot of this first 10 minutes or so the same way we saw Thomas, this very let the Eagles possess, right? They know the back line is young and experienced. They might make a mistake. The Owls are waiting for that mistake to happen so they can capitalize it. I think that's, if they're going to win this game, that's something they have to focus on.
Yeah, this is an Owls team that I think against this Eagles team that's been one of the big dogs here in the North Atlantic Conference, I think to have a legitimate chance in this contest, they're going to have to score on the opportunities they do get against this Eagles team. They're not going to have a whole lot of possession. You kind of know that coming into this contest. This is an Eagles team that possession is kind of their middle name out there. So for the Owls, when they do get those counterattack opportunities, that's when they need to score. And Parkin trying to go back corner. Storm's going to keep this one in. He's going to send one across. I think he would have liked to take a touch on that one and settle it.
They are really liking to use the Storm on this wing right now, closest to us. This is the third or fourth time we've seen a long through ball that really trying to flip that defensive possession over fast offensive possession inside the 18. The Storm is doing a great job so far, just trying to control it, get it to the back post where the goalkeeper can be seen caught up position.
So on a good kick into the middle, headed on. Presque had possession there for a second. Jovan Barrett, 6'3" out there. I think biggest guy on the field who won that first header off of the goal kick. Another one straying long. They've been trying to feed it down this left wing here, but not quite connecting out there. Obviously, we mentioned a little bit of a change in formation. Storm getting his cardio in here tonight.
With how deep this Eagles bench is, you have to assume that that's in a position that they can sub out quickly, get them some rest, get someone else in there to get a little bit of a breather, test out some new luck, new legs.
Yeah, there's multiple guys. I think Duberjal, someone we'll see in that position. Possibly Chamberlain, Castellanos, along with Morato, all guys who I would think could play that kind of outside wing defensive position. Mora, another guy off of the bench who we've seen start quite a bit this season. I think he'll come in more of an offensive role for one of those central midfield positions that we're seeing Etchevers, Parkin, and Nogueira playing. far, Parkin doing a good job out there, kind of controlling possession. We haven't seen someone that, since coming in as a freshman last year, we've seen him kind of come in late in games. He hasn't started a whole lot of contests. He's usually pretty sure-footed out there.
I mean, we talked about this son earlier. Did you see Woods trying to accept that pass on the far end? His eyes covering up his eyes, just trying to see it like an outfielder trying to see during a bright sunny day when the ball's in the air. It's the same thing right now for the Eagles playing on that far sideline.
And Montigny tripped up here about 30 to 35 yards out. The Eagles are going to take this one quickly. I don't think Presque quite knew what was happening for a second there. Guerra, nice little move on the outside, will lead to a corner kick. This is Alvarez's side. Would be surprised if they try that similar tactic of kind of packing in around the goalkeeper, letting Alvarez just bend one in towards the goal.
Important watch. We know this Owls team loves to counterattack. The Eagles got two guys back right now. One's a midfielder, one has been gassed, Desorme, from running up and down the sideline so much.
This one bent in front post, that one in! We'll see who it gets credited to, but that was Alvarez who put one in towards goal.
Yeah,
Did the high fives from the teammates. I don't think that one got touched by anybody. Alvarez doing it again, Caden.
Yeah, I believe Silas Montigny might have gotten ahead on it, which is funny because we just highlighted that his height is something that you have to look out for on those set pieces, especially with how dangerous the Eagles are in that bunch formation. They did a tremendous job on this set piece, just creating havoc, and Silas Montigny
was right in that area. I think it went off of the goalkeeper's gloves. Montigny kind of got in his face. Alvarez doing it from the corner again. Remember last year, he scored one of those called an Olympico in the kind of the world of soccer. We were kind of all surprised, and now I believe this is the third one we've had Alvarez do here at Boucher.
Yeah. It's like a chore. It just comes. It's natural now. You just do it.
He's very good at kind of curling those ones in towards the back post. The Eagles like to put a lot of bodies in there and just kind of upset things in the box. This one, a great ball towards the back post, but not getting anything behind it. Humpy there, almost a little chance to counterattack. The Eagles a little sloppy in possession on the defensive end.
Yeah, that started from about 20 seconds ago. A couple errant passes just going wide, leaving Irik Weinstein in the corner, no one to pass to, no one to go with it. Ended up leading to the turnover, leading to the back post chance.
Now on a long ball down to Montigny in the corner. Trying to work his way by. Going to lose his footing. No whistle called on that one. I think that's a good no call. Montigny was trying to swim around the defender on that one. Parkin finding Echeverse. And this one's just going to get kicked to the middle. Shirley on possession here. Presque trying to have some of their first meaningful minutes on the ball of the contest. And this one trying to send a long ball up over the top. Weinstein there. Kind of a missed touch on it for a moment. Just going to pass it back to Bermudez.
I'm surprised Cameron there didn't try to get on Bermudez. I feel like he had the speed, he had the momentum. With that bouncing pass back to Bermudez from Weinstein, I think if I was personally Cameron, I'm attacking the goalkeeper. That's going to be one that he's going to struggle with.
That's a dangerous little ball back there for Weinstein to try to handle. With this formation, I would think when Molina comes back, he'll get slotted in back at one of those outside back positions. That's somewhere that we saw him a lot early on in his career. This one, ball to Desorme on the back post. He's going to cut it back. This one back into the middle now. Noguera on it, trying to dribble around a few players, puts a shot on. That one's still alive. And Gasser puts it over the crossbar, trying to get his knee over that bouncing ball, but nothing quite there for him.
Yeah, that was just a great setup by Noguera. I mean, they call him the Piranha. He's ferocious on the attack, right? So when he comes in, he's going to create offense. That's what we saw from him, those little cutbacks, losing the defenders, getting the quality shot. Gasser just couldn't put that one on net. It's a hard one with the little bounces. It's hard to volley that one that close to the keeper.
Yeah, and looking back at this one, a strong shot. I think Gasser definitely going to want to have that one back, though. Didn't really have anyone in front of him. Just needed to get didn't need to hit it all that hard. Just needed to get over the top of the ball. But like you said, volleys are one that I know we always used to work on back in practice. Just it's a difficult skill move to make.
Especially that split decision too, right? Like just coming off the keeper, then all of a sudden you have to make that decision. All right, am I gonna have to soft touch this or I'm gonna have to launch it? Like a lot of things are happening in that short amount of time.
You have 2 players on your back as well for Gasser. Gasser assuming more of his traditional role. Etcheverse with some room here, but just knocked away at the last moment. Parkin's going to drop it back. Whistle here. The Eagles are going to have a free kick in an advantageous position, Caden.
Yeah, very dangerous. I thought Etcheverse, they were going to let him play on the way Etcheverse took this shot. But as you can see here, just Beckett Parkin trying to get past him. Tough challenge there. Takes out the legs. That's going to be a dangerous free kick opportunity. Eagles looking to advance their lead.
And it's Gasser and Etcheverse standing over the ball here. Direct free kick. This is about most straight-on shot you could have here for the Eagles. It looks like just about in line with the penalty kick spot. Obviously a good 10 yards off of that. Gasser will take. He's going to put this one too high, though. Getting some love from his teammates there. It's a difficult shot from that position. Obviously, you have a good angle, but you're so close that it's hard to kind of, the goalkeeper can cover that left side of the goal. You're almost trying to bend that over top of the wall.
Yeah, especially with that 5-man wall. You have a 6'3" guy in there. That's a tough one to make.
This one sent back up the field. The Eagles regaining possession quickly here. So far, Husson's had most of all the chances. Presque had that one play a little bit earlier on. That one sent too high of Weinstein, so it'll be out wide for a Presque throw in here. Now it's sent in. Weinstein's going to head that one up the field. Now Gasser into the middle here to Parkin, trying to send Nugera up through the middle. And Parkin's going to get in there for first touch on it. Still fighting for it. Montigny on the backside here. Parkin just taking that turn a little bit too close to the defender, though. So far, Caden, I'm liking this formation from the Eagles. There's definitely things I think they need to work on out there. But you saw in that last one, it kind of plays into that counterattacking role. You have those 3 central midfielders who can all press up the field with pace and replace Gasser if he drops back. We saw Gasser a lot earlier on the season playing more of an attacking midfield role. Shirley now a chance in on goal. Blanco trying to get there. The Eagles will come in and pinch this one off. Shirley back post. That one miscontrolled. Eagles scrambling on this one, and Blanco's finally going to clear it out. That, though, is what's the problem, I think, for the Eagles with this formation a little bit right now.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Cameron, getting it in behind the defense. The only problem that occurred there, that left Shirley wide open going into the box. I mean, they had great defense on them. The only problem was they started to bunch up. They left someone open on the back 18. Could have been an easy goal. Luckily, it was mishandled. Woods recovers quickly, and score stayed the same.
That's not exactly an issue with the formation, but rather just this Eagles team only 20 minutes into playing this kind of new formation. Obviously, probably practiced it over the week, but it's something that you kind of need to figure out a little bit out there. And the defense is one that you've removed a defender from that back line. They need to learn how to play with each other a little bit better on that back group. This one a long throw in sent in, headed out. Blanco who won that one for the Eagles.
Again.
And Hayden Bay coming in here for this throw-in. Presque moving some guys into the box. Wouldn't be surprised if we see a big one on this throw. That one sent short side of the box, so it's going to bounce its way straight to Shirley, but poked away. That was Blanco, I think, who got that final toe on it. And finally, Alvarez just getting that one out of there. The Eagles a little tired of having that right around the 18. Ended up being a great ball up the wing to Gasser, but a nice defensive play there. Montigny with a nice defensive play of his own, but a missed pass there on that one. Good job on that one from Barrett, just using his size to kind of box the Eagles out. Bermudez won't let that one roll all the way back to him. Now Weinstein trying to go up the field. Gasser trying to find Etcheworth. Nugera who's going to step in. Great ball through to Gasser, but just a little too far out in front of him. And Palladino jumping on top of that one.
I'm liking this revamped offense a lot. Obviously, they've had about 6 days now to settle on that 6-1 loss that they took to Thomas, a real blow to the mentality of this team. So I'm really liking this new revamped thing Coach Bermudez put in place. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more generated offense, something that we've really struggled with the last 2 games, or struggled to see.
Yeah, and it's something, Caden, that the Eagles kind of needed to do out there. They weren't quite getting as much offense as they would have liked, and at this point in the season, after taking that loss to Thomas, for Husson, in order to kind of get those hosting privileges, which I think is the goal of most teams on the season, they need to win out on the season. They can still get that group. They have the tiebreaker on Thomas. If they were to go down and win down at UNE, that would be a game. UNE and USM are the 2 teams that kind of decide that tiebreaker. Obviously, the head-to-head matchup is the first tiebreaker out there. But if the Eagles beat Thomas later in the season and then were to do better against UNE than Thomas did, it would allow them to still get that #1 seed despite taking that big loss against Thomas. Alvarez going out wide to Weinstein. Guerra trying to find Gasser on that one, but mistouched on the through ball. And Presque there trying to exploit the Eagles a little bit. So it's going to be a throw in here down just past the Eagles bench. Be Bay taking this one again.
A little miscommunication here. Sub's been trying to come on for about a minute now.
Bay pretty local here to the Bangor region out of Warrington. And about 15 minutes from here. This one sent into the box. Leave him and assume his brother or cousin and Sandbay, who's a freshman, both players here for this Presque team. Montigny taking up the wing. Nice little move there. That's Sam Bay sliding in just as we mentioned him. A couple nice plays now out there on that wing position. Kind of stop this Eagles offense.
That's a do-or-die play right there from Bay. I mean, that's something you don't see that often, that situation. Normally you just take a step back, let the player make his move, but he went all out for it. He's going to regain possession for his team. Just a tremendous play to get down and dirty, making sure Silas doesn't get in on net.
It's a dangerous one, though. If you mistime that tackle, that's pretty much usually a red card offense on those sliding ones. Sometimes you'll see if you kind of drag a guy down as they're trying to go towards goal, it might just be a yellow card. Usually slide tackles are one that can result in a red card pretty quickly out there. It's one that if you have confidence in, definitely play favors. Kaylee Nault over on the Husson women's side, very adept at those kind of slide tackle plays.
She had one on Saturday. The player was coming in and she just went all out. It was just the player, the goalie, and then Kaylee Nault was behind her. Just went all out for it. I thought for sure she was going to be a PK, but she got it done. She kept the score the same. Just a tremendous defensive player.
And it looked like the Eagles might have had a fast break opportunity there. But Gasser, a little bit of a mistouch on the through ball. Second one there, Gasser struggling in that position a little bit. Obviously somewhere we haven't seen him all season.
Eagles are just struggling right now, connecting with the short passes. They're hitting these long passes pretty well, but the short ones, the tiki-taka ones we're used to them seeing, they're just struggling with a little bit.
That's something that I think comes right back to that form. I mean, I know we've talked about the formation change a lot so far in this one, Caden, but it's just guys are in different spots right now than they're used to playing. It's a little bit different formation. In the old formation, you might have had a guy out on that left side, and now that guy is a little bit closer to you. makes it a little bit more difficult. Someone trying to be sent up the right wing. Stormman's just going to kick that one out of play. Smart decision defensively. And Gasser with possession here. Trying to find Nogueira. Again, just a missed play on it, but Gasser winning it right back. Finding Etchers, has a player on his back. Really good play there from Gasser. It's one that you could easily kind of hang your head after making a couple missed plays in a row. Instead, regains possession right back for the Eagles. Step there for Parkin. Players all around him. Still managing to poke it through. That one's going to get sent up the field. Blanco to Alvarez. Be interesting to see if Alvarez stays in that position, Caden. Obviously, Mozi Masamango is someone who was one of the key defensive leaders for the Eagles. I think dealing with a few off-field injuries. He's someone that I could see playing that position that we're seeing Alvarez at right now, while Alvarez moves up into a little bit more of an attacking role.
And it's funny because Alvarez is playing where Masamango normally plays. Like, even before the position change, this is a position that we've seen him take, right? Where Masamango's just kind of that fifth defender, but is way more aggressive as a defender, right? It's the central defensive mid, but Masamango plays it so well in the terms of he plays defense just as well as he plays offense. That's so rare to see in a player.
Yeah, almost playing more of a stopper role out there, kind of the diamond in front of this flat back line. Alvarez with it here. And that one's eventually going straight out wide for a goal kick. Husson holding on to this 1-0 lead right now. Presque not getting a whole lot done offensively. Haven't really had the possession in this game. Kind of mentioned that right from the get-go, that it's going to be hard to possess against this Eagles team that's hyper-aggressive in the midfield. Parkin with possession here. And just find Alvarez in the middle here. They are trying to poke it on to Etchers. Nothing there, though. Looks like Chamberlain and Neto set to come in. Yes, Neto coming in for Gasser up on the offensive end. And Chamberlain taking Montigny off on the far wing side.
These are two great substitutions. These two are going to work hard no matter what. No matter what the score is in a game, they're two that are going to get fired up and work hard. They're going to create offense, and they're going to play great defense while doing that.
Chamberlain, definitely kind of a live wire out there on that far side. He often kind of outworks half the people on the field. Neto's been having a pretty good recent set of games. Great ball through from Nogueira. Neto, though, missing the touch on it, offsides anyways.
Yeah, fortunately just a mistimed run. That looked amazing from Nogueira. Nogueira has been a bright spot on this Eagles team in these first 30 minutes. Someone who's just created offense. We've seen the little cutbacks. We've seen the great passes and kind of a new revamped position for him, right? He's playing the central midfield. Normally we see him out on the wing, up at top as striker. He's really settled into this midfield in the first 30 minutes.
And I'm really liking him in that position, too. It's somewhere that the Eagles have been missing a little bit. Obviously, you have Etchers in that middle, who's someone who can kind of dribble through players. But last season, you had Miguel Morales moved on to play semi-pro soccer. Obviously, had a lot of skill out there. But Nogueira kind of assuming that mantle a little bit out there in the central midfield. Kind of that player who can create chances out of not a whole lot out there.
I'm really interested that the Owls haven't moved in more to a pressing style of play in their offensive end when the Eagles have the ball. I feel like we've seen it a lot from the defense. This back line does a great job not allowing a turn, trying to make sure they get on the ball as soon as the player opens up, right? But we haven't seen that from the offensive end, and that's normally where we've seen the Eagles get burned on tape, right? So it's really interesting. I'm interested to see if they play with that in the second half.
Etchever's a great little cut to get into the middle there, but knocked away by the Owls. The Eagles resetting to this midfield. Parkin finding Etchever's. That little connection's been working well. That was shot chance there for Etchever's, knocked away by the defense though. Eagles not getting a whole lot of pressure.
And they're in no hurry. They're going to wait for their opportunity.
Now taking a hit off of the official. Pass from Alvarez going a little too far of Chamberlain. Been interesting to see how Coach Bermudez handles this team as this season going on. Obviously his first season here in that head coaching position. Definitely a kind of flip of the script. Presque on the other side, Alan Gordon in his 34th season for the Owls. Two different ends of the spectrum out there.
Yeah, he's seen a lot of generations, right? A lot more experience in this North Atlantic Conference compared to Carlos.
And Bermudez so far has done great with this team. I think obviously it's a tough loss against the Terriers a few nights ago, but I think also taking one of the big things I took away from that game is the Eagles looked like they were kind of devolving on the disciplinary side for a little bit there. Right when that whole stretch of goals happened, you had that red card, looked like, oh boy, this could end up with the Eagles finishing this game with 8 men on the field. And then I believe the Eagles went cardless for the rest of the contest, which Bermudez kind of stepping up in that situation. It can be tough from a young coach perspective. Bermudez used to be one of the student assistant coaches for this team just a few seasons ago. It'd be tough to not get yourself fired up in that spot and kind of feed into that energy. Rather settle your team down a little bit, take the loss, but don't come out of it with 3 or 4 red cards. This one a throw-in sent in. Presque possession on the offensive end here. Chamberlain trying to send it up the field, and it'll be out for an Eagles throw-in. This one sent into the middle here to Parkin. Parkin with some running room in front of him. Going to try to find Neto. Foot race for the ball, and that one's going to be knocked away by Hayden Bay.
Yeah, but unfortunately for Bay, this is where the Eagles have been the most dangerous this season on these set pieces, especially on these corners. I mean, it was a great play by him to get it out, but these Eagles are very dangerous from this area.
And the first goal of this contest obviously coming off of the foot of Alvarez here from the same corner. The Eagles will try the same chance here. Palladino in goal, a freshman, only 5'10", a little bit undersized, I think, for goalkeeper normally. Obviously very athletic out there. Alvarez, this one lower than that first chance. I think a little mishit on that one. We'll go straight back out to Etchever's. He's going to put a ball back in. Woods with a chance, but couldn't quite get over top of it.
Yeah, you kind of saw his back lean back on that, trying to adjust to the ball coming in at him. Just stay a little bit lower, drive through it. He would have had a goal right there. That would have been a great opportunity, a great feed.
That's a great ball in from Etchever's. Kind of caught the Owls pulling out of the defensive end, trying to push it up the field. Woods timed his run well and was able to get in behind the defense. Under 10 minutes here in this first half. Still just the 1-0 score here. The Eagles hoping to try to get a little bit more on the offensive end in this one. Big tackle there in the midfield. Etchever's going down hard. Now it's Barrett who came in on the tackle.
Good sportsmanship by Barrett, helping him up.
There's a replay of that tackle. Barrett just lunging for the ball, got a little in front of it. Pretty big size difference there between Barrett and Etcheverse.
Yeah, that's the problem when you're 6'3". When you lay out, you're going to be a lot longer than someone who is only about 5'6", 145.
Etcheverse finding Nogueira. Nogueira going out wide to Chamberlain. This is a great chance for the Eagles. Chamberlain trying to put a ball across, and just a little too far out in front of Neto. He timed that run just a tad too late. Chamberlain having to make that pass a little bit quicker than he was expecting. It was a good chance there. A good play by the goalkeeper to get out in front of it.
Yeah, Chamberlain just had a lot of momentum, just a little bit too long on the original touch. I think if he just was able to shorten that up just a tad, a little bit, he would have had an easy shot on goal, if not an easy pass across.
Yeah, it was kind of in that weird gray area, as now a chance here for the Owls, but a good job from Weinstein to kick it clear. It will be a corner kick here for Presque, their first of the contest.
This is where they can be dangerous as well. They have a very significant size advantage over this Eagles back line.
And these dead ball plays are ones that it doesn't matter quite necessarily the skill level of the team. If you win that header, that's all that matters out there. Be surprised if they try to find a Barrett on this one. That one indeed in towards Barrett, but just a little too high even for him. That will stray out wide for a goal kick.
You can roll that ball in.
So a good chance there for the Owls. Put it in the right region, just not quite the right accuracy. Alvarez with it now. It's going to go out wide. Alvarez playing in that pivot position. He's going to find Nogueira. Nogueira with it here, has Chamberlain on his right. He's going to take it himself towards the right sideline. Dribbling through a couple different players here. This could be a ball across. That one too hard, though. The Eagles struggling with the crosses. They're getting themselves to that opportunity, but then not making the final play.
Yeah, it's all about capitalization, right? They're doing a great job getting in close, doing these great jobs, getting these scoring chances that you'd love to score on. However, they're just not doing a great job putting the ball in the back of the net. And you can blame that on a number of things, right? They've taken 6 days off. They could be a little bit, don't know the right word for it, but just a little bit lackadaisical, right? You can't always come out perfection all the time.
This one sent up the far side. Shirley trying to press in here on Bermudez. Could be a chance. Bermudez cutting back, though. The goalkeeper dribbling with the ball. That's not something you want to see if you're the Eagles out there.
Yeah, that's the pressure I was talking about right there. Alan Gordon from the sideline, you could hear him just pressure, 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 and you could see that. But a great move by a goalie. You don't normally see sweet feet like that on a keeper.
Bermudez putting his hand up after that one, kind of tapping himself on the chest. I think he kind of knew. That's one that you just clear it. Doesn't matter if it's a corner kick, doesn't matter whatever. You just can't give them that chance out there. That was almost another good chance. Presque moving to a little bit more of an aggressive attacking formation out there, and it seems to be working so far.
We talked about it. We were waiting for that switch to happen, right? We were saying it just seems a little bit too passive. Alan Gordon realizes that. Now he's going full aggressive here, and it's been working out. Long throw-in.
That one caught by Bermudez. Going to push this team up the field. Fakes the roll over to the right. It's going to, or over to the left, but will eventually roll it to the right. Go with possession here in the middle. Alvarez pushing it over to this left side. That one kind of leaking its way through to Neto. Eagles not choosing to swarm it, looking a little wide open here on this far wing. We're going to play this one in towards the middle. Great step there from Barrett to kick that one out. Neto looked like he was clean in on goal. The good ball from Woods. Final 4 minutes here of this first half. Eagles haven't scored since that corner kick. They would have loved some momentum going into the half. One trying to send a ball over the top. Barrett a little miscontrolled. Nogueira's going to get to it. Trying to flick it up. Still with possession. And we'll see what that one gets called. Be out for a goal kick.
Yeah, how about just creating something out of nothing? Nogueira volleying it over a 6'3" man, winning the possession battle, the 50-50 box out. Just an amazing job.
I think he would have liked to potentially play that one out to Desorme, who's wide open out on that wing position. It can be hard when you have that player right on your back, of kind of looking away from goal rather than in towards goal. This one's just going to get thrown back to the defense here. On the ball here. Weinstein going across to Blanco. Under 3 minutes. We'll see if the Eagles, obviously plenty of time to try to press up the field a few more times. Parking going out wide to Nogueira here. Garrett dribbling around through this one. A shot and save. That was a good save there from Palladino. That was kind of a bouncing ball in. That's kind of guys all around him.
Yeah, Nogueira's pretty mad about that one, but I mean, that was a great opportunity, right? I mean, he makes that cutback. The only bad thing you can say about it is he didn't really aim his shot. The goalkeeper was just able to fall right on it, creating an easy save. I think Nogueira was really upset because he wanted to get a little bit more power on it, trying to force it to the goalie to the side to side.
Well, that's one of those dangerous ones with all the Eagles offensive players in and around that area. You get a hard shot on target. We've already seen Palladino not quite grasp a couple shots cleanly. It would allow you to get that second chance opportunity. Parking going cross field to Weinstein. Be out for a throw-in. .130 here. Chance still for the Owls to get their own little bit of momentum going into the half. Want to give it away to this man here in the middle as he's going to go out wide to Desorme. On the wing. Send one back in towards Echeverse. Echeverse across field here to Alvarez. Eagles pushing a few players up the field. Going to try to flip it into Nogueira. I think he tried the bike on that one. Got a little too over it. Swarm a bike of his own. This one's going to get headed out, though. A couple chances there for the Eagles. None of them very good, though, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, 2 opportunities. They certainly went for him. 2 bicycle kicks, not something you see that often, especially on the same possession. But, I mean, they're certainly trying everything right now. Just unfortunately, they can't figure out how to put this ball in the back of the net.
Weinstein to Desorme here. Nogueira with possession now on the wing. Good ball into Desorme. Ball in. That was Lee Parkin who had a chance at it. Just a little too out far in front of him.
One thing we haven't given this Umpy defense credit on so far is they do a tremendous job of just clearing the ball, letting their defense get set, right? I mean, several of opportunities so far. But it's just been a great job just realizing it, clearing the ball as soon as they're able to.
And Nogueira going down momentarily there in the middle of the field. Looks like he's backing up on his feet. Referee not seeing anything there on that tackle. Blanco going up against Shirley here. Going to send it. Owls chance to counterattack here. 15 seconds left in the half. That's going to be a foul. Just under 10 seconds here. They're going to stop the clock.
Like the decision to stop the clock here, give Umpy their last chance.
Well, I think the Eagles might have poked it away a little bit, just trying to let that clock run out, which led to that decision. This one, a shot chance there, but too high. That will end the first half. As this clock will drain to its close, the Eagles going to halftime up 1-0, Caden. In a game that they just kind of dominated. The first half of possession out there was really the big difference out there.
Yeah, the scoreline really doesn't reflect how many scoring chances the Eagles really had. I feel like there was a lot of opportunities. Like every 5 minutes or so, they were having this new scoring opportunity. They just could not capitalize on it. I feel like that has to be turned around here in the second half because Umpy's offense started to turn it on in that last 10 minutes or so. Really just doing a great job on the counterattacks, trying to force something, get the defense moving, miscommunicating. Umpy's coming. This Husson team has to put a couple more in the back of the net to be comfortable.
And we'll take a quick break here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network and be back pretty soon.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix the beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Take four, three, take three.
We've got a great show, everyone. Thanks for coming.
I need shots, guys.
Scene 4, take 4.
And looking over some halftime stats here, Caden, the Eagles, like we mentioned, controlling the possession in that first half, 65-35. That's pretty dominant, if you ask me out there. And it played out on the field. The Eagles outshooting them 10-2 in that first half.
Yeah, not only that. I mean, the 10-2 stat does jump out at you, but the real stat is 10 total shots, right? The Eagles are taking shots, and they're taking a lot of them. 10 shots in one half is a lot, right? Another thing that really kind of jumps at you is just how well they've played together so far, right? I mean, we've seen it a little bit. We've commented on some things about the formation change being a little bit iffy, right? Because the players aren't always there where you want them to be. But so far, it has been just a great job just keeping the emotions down, right? These games get aggressive. Keeping the emotions down, just playing together, playing your game.
Yeah, and most of this contest being played in that middle part of the field. Something that you could kind of see the Eagles, 50% of their total possession coming on the attacking midfield side of the ball. So not right in and around the goal, but kind of in that zone between midfield and right around the 18. That was where the Eagles had the ball for almost half of their time out there. And that's something that can lead to a lot of scoring chances.
And something I feel like has to be a record. The Eagles only had one foul that half. That has to be a record. I feel like we have not seen that very often where the Eagles have less than 3 fouls at the end of a half.
Yeah, my kind of fun fact of the game before this one, the Eagles, no yellow cards in their contest against the Owls earlier in their season. Only game all year that the Eagles haven't been cautioned at least once by the referees. This Umpy team doesn't seem overly physical or overly. You saw it against Thomas, that Thomas kind of got in the Eagles' heads a little bit and were able to kind of get them off of their game. And this Owls team not really kind of trying to do that annoying factor out there, that kind of we're going to mess with you, try to get you a little bit riled up out there.
Yeah, and this Umpy team has just done a tremendous job so far. They're doing a lot more than what I expected from them. They're just doing a great job. Their defense is doing a tremendous job clearing the ball, making sure no dirty goals, as I like to call them, goals that are bouncing around and will happen to get scored on, right? They're doing a great job just clearing it, not allowing those chances to happen. This Eagles team is doing a tremendous job just staying together.
And we'll take a quick break here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. Avery Henningsen alongside Caden Trenoweth. We'll be right back for the second half.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you, freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it.
It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at It's On.
Take 4, 3, take 3.
We've got a great show, everyone. Thanks for coming.
I need shots, guys.
Scene 4, take 4.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with dachshund breeding.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll and take.
I think it's important for a student coming through NESCOM to partake in all of the areas that they possibly can, to really become a jack of all trades and maybe a master or excel in one area. And the live portion of the video production program really focuses the efforts on live up-to-date news and sports and live events that take place in our world of television broadcasting.
In my past, I had always thought I wanted to work in film or commercial video production, and I always enjoyed that, and I always loved it, but you know, when I was in high school, I did live, and finally doing it here at NESCOM and having the teachers here to just show me what this world was really like, I think it just, in my mind, it clicked, and it was like, I just knew.
Dissolve 1.
NESCOM really helped prepare me for my career by jump-starting me on a lot of the more complicated things that a lot of schools don't focus on, such as, you know, actually what kind of cable are you going to use for your production, and are all your cameras going to match, and, you know, taking you through every part of the remote production.
Mark out after bring Mark out is 1. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I enjoyed the real-world projects that Husson University gave us. We were able to use all of our skills in a real matter that would happen actually outside of our school.
Some events I've gotten to be a part of for NESCOM's live productions are sporting events such as football, basketball, soccer, and also do live-to-tape shows such as The Night Show with Danny Casper.
Coming up, Brian Netto and The Night Show Band will be performing with Jody Ebling, but first we have a special surprise guest coming up next.
It gives us that opportunity where we get hands-on experience with the equipment, such as this mobile production truck that I'm sitting in right now. And we all get to work together as a team to make the final product.
Sound like a monster.
And what were some of your favorite productions that you've worked on?
This is a good question. This I can answer. My favorite production while I was here, I would say, was Distortion. Distortion was our live concert that we did that was fully produced by myself and a couple other students I had. I remember after that production especially, afterwards I felt like this is why I do it.
Let's let the audio fade out. This is honestly the best show I've ever done here. And it takes the cake for Overdrive.
I would definitely say that NESCOM's given me leadership experience. I've gotten to direct many shows for NESCOM, which has been amazing, and it teaches you the leadership role that you need to be a tech manager, to be a director, a producer. Any of those roles, you need leadership, and NESCOM is ultimately giving me those opportunities, which is great.
Want to get your shot ready for
NESCOM made it a safe environment for you to kind of learn the practical experience of your job and actually do it in a safe environment with friendly instructors that aren't going to yell at you for whatever reason.
They've made my transition from being a student to a full-time workforce employee in the industry so much easier.
The things Rodney said to me after one production that always stuck with me was, you're not going to be perfect, you're never going to be perfect.
But what we do expect is to put in a substantial amount of effort.
It's life lessons like that as a person, it says, okay, I know that there are sometimes lofty expectations, but even if things don't go our way, if I'm giving it my all, I'm doing as best as I can, and I can hold my head high at the end of the day.
It was definitely some of the most fun I had in school was doing NESCOM role productions. And I use those skills every day at work.
We are such a great group. We all know each other. Everyone at NESCOM knows each other. We're such a small group over here, and that we love what we do.
Ready 2, take 2, ready 5, ready
I think
4, take
what
4.
really makes me proud as an instructor is when our students succeed both when they're here, but when they leave. There's just no better satisfaction than hearing these stories, and we have a lot of them.
So all you guys just be ready for multiple angles here. Let's get some big stuff here.
And back here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network, Avery Henningsen alongside Caden Trenoweth here. We're about to get back underway for the second half of action. Eagles bringing out a little bit of a different group. It's a mix of the guys who started the contest, came in substitutions, and also didn't start the contest at all. So the Eagles trying to keep it fresh out there.
Yeah, and one interesting thing that I'm excited to see, number 6, the captain, Mosi Masamongo. We were talking about a little bit how he might thrive in that position that Alvarez was playing, where we normally see Masamongo in this new formation. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, where he's going to take place, how he's going to fit in. I'm also very excited to see what this Eagles front has to offer with Castellanos, Nadeau, and Chamberlain coming in.
And look at this young back line for the Eagles. Looks like Pereira coming in for Blanco. So it's going to be Pereira, Woods, and Weinstein across that back line. 3 guys who have obviously, I think Weinstein getting the most minutes out of that group over the last couple seasons. But they're 3 guys that don't have a whole lot of experience out there. Obviously, they have Masamongo in front of them, who is one of the more minutes played of any player on this roster. I think on his career, sitting right around 4,400 minutes for the Eagles. So he has that wealth of experience at the front of that defensive group. Central midfield staying about the same. It looks like Castellanos coming in for Noguera. Will be Morato out on that far sideline now. Neto staying in up top, and Chamberlain staying in on this near wing position.
I'm interested to see Castellanos up here too. He's someone who plays hard and plays fast, right? He's going to win those 50-50 battles when the ball gets in the corner. He's someone that is going to play physical down there.
He's someone I could see in more of that kind of striker role. We kind of mentioned the Eagles a couple seasons ago had obviously one of the stars of this last run here for the Eagles, and Arnie Hreiderson, a true striker for them. For the last 2 years, though, they've been struggling. It's been a revolving door in that position. They're kind of forcing midfielders to play striker, which just obviously it can work for some guys, but not for other guys. Castellanos is someone, a lot of speed up there, some size. He could be someone I could see working into that role as the season continues.
Also, they did take a look at video. Silas Montigny did get his head on top of that corner kick, so he was credited with the goal now, getting his, I believe, his first of his
young career. Yeah, it was one of those bang-bang plays. We mentioned both their names when it first happened. We kind of said it's either Montigny or Alvarez getting credit for that one. Montigny was kind of crashing into the goalkeeper. I think we had some really good photos of it and or some video evidence, and also talked to the coaches and referees down at halftime. That one, Montigny crashing there, just got a little piece on it. Managing to get it. 2 now in back-to-back games here for Alvarez off of those corner kick plays that could almost be credited to him, but a player getting in there, getting that kind of dirty goal in around the box.
Yeah, shout out to all the new camera people working here. They got us nice little evidence of that goal, got it switched around, getting Silas the credit he deserves.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we mentioned it, actually. Kind of feels about the same for us up here in the booth, but this one looking a little bit different on the live stream side of things. NESCOM, New England School of Communications broadcast here. Kind of a whole team of camera and audio people. A lot of people working back in the trunk. Big shout out to all of them. These broadcasts are always fun. Kind of wish we had a camera on us up here in the booth. And both of us coming in the suits for this contest.
It's a tight booth. It's hard. Can't wish for everything. This is already a great experience.
But it definitely feels a little bit more kind of mainstream usually for these broadcasts. For those who have listened to the Husson games over the season, it's usually pretty much me and you and a couple other people basically running the whole broadcast on our own. It was nice today to just kind of show up, sit down, and be like, okay, everything's ready for us up here.
Yeah, normally it's me and you doing all the streaming software stuff. I'm normally running the camera during the game. It's a lot nicer. Show up, sit back, talk, watch an amazing game.
And we get called the talent as well. That's our official title here on the broadcast, is this one. Trying to send something up over the top. Pereira getting some of his first touches on it. It's like Pereira might have finally outgrown. I know at the start of the season, he had the bleached blonde top to his hair. It looks like he might have outgrown and cut that off. Kind of looked over there and didn't quite recognize who the player was. Taking over that central defensive role. I know late in the season last year, Caden, me and you called a game where Pereira and Woods came in as late substitutions in that one. It was one of the kind of blowout games for the Eagles. And both of them played really well together out there on the back line. They were the two names that we kind of brought up as potential to replace some of those lost defensive weapons out there.
Yeah, and Blanco has obviously been a great addition that we did not see coming, right? I mean, we don't get to know the scouting reports on the guys that are coming in that far in advance, but, I mean, these two players are just amazing human beings, first of all. They're just amazing people to talk to, be around. Every time I talk to them, they're always joking, laughing, but they're also great soccer players, and they do a tremendous job just fulfilling their duties on the team.
Player down here for the Owls. He might have just caught a cleat there on that collision, was down for a little bit during that play. As Both teams kind of gather around, getting helped back to his feet. I think just one of those ones where you just got to walk it off a little bit.
And that's important too. I mean, the trainer has to come on to you. You automatically have to come off, sit a certain amount of time, I believe. If the trainer doesn't come on at all, then you can get to stay on for as long as your coach sees fit.
That's the captain in Isaac Dorr, a sophomore of Enfield, Maine. Pivotal central midfield players still walking a little gingerly out there in the middle. So far coming out of the half, Presque doing a little more on the offensive end. Hasn't been quite as dominant Eagles possession. Castellanos ball on the wing here, trying to find Neto. Neto controlling this one, going against Bay here on the far left side. Drop it back to Morato, finding Masamongo. Masamongo going through the middle here. Maybe coast-to-coast chance here. Masamongo shot that one bottom corner. Mosey Masamongo, hats off.
That is just clinical. All you can do is sit back and laugh coming off the bench like that. That is just tremendous soccer. Walk through everybody, just going coast to coast from half field. Just an amazing play.
And a defensive player who, Mosey Masamongo, getting on the board there. Over the past few seasons, we haven't really seen him do a whole lot offensively. Here, looking back at this replay, puts it to the far left side. Side netting, kid, and that one was beautiful.
Yeah, goalkeeper just caught a little bit too close to his post. Lets that whole side open up. No chance to get that. That is a perfectly placed shot.
And Masamongo, I believe, that one being his third goal of the season. Prior to that, only having one over his previous 3 years. No goals last year. But definitely assuming a little bit bigger of an offensive role this year. Masamongo, someone that I've kind of said for years is kind of one of those unsung heroes out there for the Eagles. Hasn't always gotten it done on the offensive side of things, but is one of the key players, I think, for the Eagles in that midfield. Also just kind of the vocal leader there in the middle. I've played with Mosey a few times, kind of obviously not out there on the field, but in some off-season stuff. He's someone that you can definitely get it done on the offensive side. You just don't always see it out there on the field, but you saw it right there on that play. And Shirley, who goes offsides on that one.
The one thing you don't really see about Mosey is just an amazing leader, right? I mean, that's something you love to see with any talent, especially a grad student coming back like last year and this year. He's just done a tremendous job being the vocal leader for this team, someone that they're dearly going to miss in that position when it comes this time next year.
And it looks like Dorr, who we saw get kind of tangled up with earlier, probably 5 minutes ago now before that goal, taking a seat down there on the field. So he's going to get checked out by the trainer. He will get subbed off here. I think you mentioned that as soon as the trainer out on the field, he'll take the substitution. Can come back into the contest.
Yeah, he just has to pass all the training tests first, but getting off under his own power, walking under his own power, that's always a great sign, especially for those foot and leg injuries.
Might be one of those ones where he just needs some ice down there. Just want to give it back over to Woods on the far side.
Umpy's offense has really just sunken back. You can see it on the TV right now. It's just real sunken back. They're not pressuring this back line once they get the ball at all.
And Castellanos gets bodied off the ball, but will grab possession of it right on the end line. That was a great play there from Castellanos. Looked like he was getting boxed out as Morato puts a ball off of one of the Presque players. Like he's going to take a second to get up. He might have taken that one right to the stomach. Morato, another guy who, despite being not the biggest guy out there on the field, can put some heat behind the ball.
Yeah, that was one of those ones. He just fired it away, hoping, I think he was looking for Chamberlain on this back post. Just unfortunate for Cameron.
So he's going to get back to his feet here, trying to walk this one off a little bit. Morato came over there, gave him a little tap on the shoulder. So Morato with possession here. On the throw, and he's going to go short here to Etchevers. And trying to put another ball across. That one too strong, though. It's going to be Parkin who's going to track it down. Drop it back to Woods here. Parkin trying to cut it back. Going to find Neto now. Chamberlain on it. Chamberlain finding Etchevers. Little ticky-tack play here. Etchevers, that one way too high. Up over the top of the netting.
Just tremendous play back and forth. Tremendous job getting open off of that chance. Just unfortunate that they can't capitalize on something like that. Something we've seen from this Eagles team today. They just cannot hit the net and hit it with force.
And it looks like that's Cameron who's taking the knee out there. I think not quite managing to walk off that strong hit from Morato. Looks like it will be Star Boma re-entering the game. Saw him come in the first half for Cameron. So not exactly a foreign substitution out there. We'll see if anything changes formation-wise here for the Owls. Looks like Boma's just going to assume that right wing position. And it will be a goal kick upcoming here for the Owls. That one low, not hit very well. We've seen a couple so far in this one from the keeper in Palladino that just haven't quite looked goal kick-ish out there. Like you would normally see kind of that high arcing ball in towards midfield or just past it. Obviously at the higher levels they can get it most of the field. Etchevers trying to go over the top to Castellanos, almost there. Now it's Barrett though. Mentioned the height from him. He's going to rise up, knock that one away.
Yeah, it's hard to get a ball over him, especially those long through balls. He's been reading the field really well so far on this back line.
Parkin, great ball in towards Neto. Managing to cut around it, and it's one bottom corner as Neto just pokes it up over the top of the goalkeeper.
Yeah, tremendous pass, great ball in. I mean, it's just a normal chip shot when the goalie comes out at you. Just a great job by Neto poking it up over.
And watching the replay here, a couple players with a chance at it. Neto managing to just poke it up in the air. Watching that one all the way. That one finding its way into the back corner. 3 straight games now for Neto with a goal here in his graduate season for the Eagles, having a little bit of a career kind of offensive season so far.
Yeah, he's been killing it under this new platoon. He's just done a tremendous job getting open, creating those opportunities for himself, and just doing a great job poking him home like he did right there.
Now there's a great ball from Parkin up over the top too. Kind of collected it about 30 yards out and then just poked it right up over the top. Neto had Bay kind of on his back shoulder, but couldn't manage to keep possession of it. Woods with a lot of time and space here. Be interesting to see how the Eagles apply this same formation against some of those better teams in the conference as this season goes on. Big weekend upcoming for the Eagles. We mentioned it earlier in this one, but be a game against UMaine Farmington, who they took down in the NAC East Championships a season ago. They're definitely a different squad out there. Last year, a lot of seniors. This year, a lot younger of a team, but really a big Lewiston crowd out there who, if you know anything about Maine soccer, Lewiston is kind of that team that is the big dogs in the state, sort of say.
And I'm really interested to see how this formation does against a dangerous counterattack like Farmington has, right? Last year in that conference final, we were like, this counterattack is what's going to kill the Eagles, right? Because the Eagles were getting so aggressive in that final stretch that we thought for sure if anything was to do it, it was going to be the counterattack of Farmington. Fortunately for the Eagles, it did not work out that way. They ended up going to the NAC finals, but that semifinal game was so aggressive to watch because the Farmington offense is so quick and so good in those fast opportunities.
Yeah, Dow up top, who was a freshman the last year. I was just doing my Farmington prep sheets for that game on Friday. Looks like he's put on a few inches, or gained a few inches of height, and put on 20 pounds in the offseason. Could be kind of a fresh college player out there a little bit. And then after taking on Farmington Friday night, the Eagles are going to drive down to Castine to take on really one of their big rivals in Maine Maritime. Team that's going to be a physical weekend, I think, for the Eagles, taking on Farmington and Maine Maritime back-to-back days.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of Bermudez's first tests in terms of how does he control his squad for those two games that you know are going to be physical, you know are going to be fast-paced. How do you even out the squad to make sure they're not already exhausted going into that Saturday game?
Well, after that Saturday game as well, they'll be taking on University of New England, a team that's not in the North Atlantic Conference. So when you first look at it on the schedule, it doesn't seem that important, but it's a team that we mentioned earlier on in this broadcast as one of those two teams that's the tiebreakers for that second leg for the Eagles and Thomas. So if the Eagles were to win out conference part of their schedule, go down to Waterville, beat Thomas, obviously all theoretical, Thomas looked great against the Eagles earlier in the season, or just this last weekend, or last Wednesday, that is. It's going to be tricky, though, for the Eagles to do it, but that UNE game is actually a big game on their schedule as a team that if they can go down there and win that contest, it will lead to some goal chances.
Yeah, this young Eagles defense almost got exposed right there. Lost a 50-50 ball to the 6'3 Bennett. Bermudez got lost a little bit on where the ball was going to end up. Ball came across, ended up just going out for corner.
There'll be a corner kick upcoming here for the Owls. This one bent in towards the box. Bermudez rising up. He'll win that one.
Every time we commentate a game and Bermudez is in net, I feel like he has one or two of those where he just towers over everybody, gets his arms way up there to get in possession.
Yeah, Bermudez only 5'10", definitely has some hops and is aggressive towards the ball. Obviously, the goalkeepers, with the ability to use their hands, can really get an extra couple feet of height out there. Morato going to Weinstein. He's going to go all the way back to Pereira now. Woods, great ball over the top towards Neto. Trying to heel that one on. Etcheworth trying to poke that one to Castellanos, but not quite there. He's going to find his way out to Masamago. Great ball in towards Castellanos. Chance here. Taken away last second. That's the younger of the two Bay brothers out there in Sand Bay who came in and took that one. Morato's going to poke this one up the line. Actually, almost wound up being a great little ball to Castellanos, but rolling just wide. It's going to be number 23 in Keenan Bean entering the contest. We haven't seen him so far in this one. Morato is going to send this one back to Weinstein. You can see the Owls definitely putting a little more pressure on this Eagles back line as this contest has continued. Obviously, Husson up 3.
Yeah, they're really going in waves right now. There's been several times the striker is all the way back with the back line, trying to pack the bus kind of. Then there's been times where they're pressuring heavy. I feel like that's where most of their best chances have come from, really. And then there's been moments like this where they're just kind of in their set positions, not really trying to pressure too much.
Masamago, great ball towards Morato on the wing. And that one's going to go out wide for a corner kick. And Castellanos taking this one. Looks like Alvarez and Montigny entering the game. So Montigny is going to take Adam Woods out. Looks like Chamberlain's going to potentially push back into that defensive position. Alvarez is going to move up the field. We'll see if he's more in that attacking midfield role.
That Nate stays here, I believe it's just for the corner. Get the big guys down there.
This one still fighting for it. Masamago, another chance. I think that was the goalkeeper in Palladino who jumped on it. Parkin not managing to hit that one cleanly. So Alvarez just fresh back into the game, having to track all the way back here. Great poke away from Chamberlain. What a defensive play there as he knocks that one away.
Yeah, that was a redemption arc right there in the first game. That's how Umpy scored their one goal off a bad set piece clearance like that Umpy was able to get. Only Nate Chamberlain was back there for the Eagles, ended up coming around, scoring the goal. That's how Umpy got their one. Nate Chamberlain doing a better job staying in front and clearing the ball.
That one managing to bounce its way in. Player down in the box, but no whistle there on that one. Does look like Chamberlain's going to assume that right back role. Montigny pushing out to the wing. That's where Montigny started this contest. And stopping the clock here. Looks like Morato's gone down on the far side of the field. Looked like, kind of saw him kind of reaching for his ankle on that play down in the corner. It looked like the defensive player kind of caught him a little bit. Looks like New Guerra's probably going to be his replacement out there.
You hate to see this from Morato because he's someone who just keeps dealing with these nagging injuries.
Over his career with the Eagles, has never really had kind of a big injury. Sort of say, obviously, Alvarez, one of the names that comes to mind as someone who had that big injury when he was a freshman. But Morato's someone who's just kind of on and off the field for almost his whole career here with the Eagles. I don't think he's ever quite been fully healthy for a full season. Outside of his first year, he was someone that when he first came in for the Eagles, he started 16 out of 17 games as a freshman. That was a very dangerous Eagles team back then. Morato coming off well under his own power. Didn't really seem to be struggling to walk all that much. Maybe more of a precautionary one. This one well in hand so far for the Eagles. Not a whole lot of reason to kind of push an injury like that in a game that you're up 3-0 in. You got those big conference matchups coming up later this week. So it's going to be a midfield of Alvarez, Parkin, and Nogueira out there. As this one finding Masamago in the middle. As that one a little too far behind Parkin. So it'll be a throw in here down in front of the Eagles bench. That one sent well up the field by Bay.
These long throw-ins can be used so effectively for any player or any team, really. Just it flips the field so easily of a play that's happened so often.
Well, usually throw-ins are meant to be kind of a lot of times you see defenses clear it out wide for the throw-ins. It's a lot better than a corner kick usually, but with these teams that have those players that have just kind of a lot of strength on those throw-ins, it allows them to just move that play into the box almost like it's a corner kick, despite not having that corner kick opportunity. So Chamberlain with possession of it here down on the near sideline. Going to go inside to Montigny, out wide to Neto. Neto back across the box. And offsides on that one.
Yeah, I believe they caught Neto. I think that little touch pass to Silas. was just enough for it to be offsides.
Yeah, the Eagles tried to get a little too cutesy on that one down around the goal. You would have liked to have Montigny or Neto just take that first shot. So Owls player down on the field there on that one. Got right back to his feet. Just a precautionary whistle there from the head referee. Montigny trying to fit that one into Parkin. Alvarez managed to just flip that one back to Chamberlain. And Nogueira missed pass there to Masamongo. We'll stay with the Eagles though. Bermuda is just going to send this one up the field. And Neto not a whole lot of chance there on that header chance going up against the 6'3" Barrett. And hard sliding tackle there in the midfield. That was Matthew Adrian who came in. And Parkin's going to receive a yellow card on that one. Looks like he's kind of kicked that ball back into the defender after he fell.
Yeah, this is in our little blind spot. We can't see it fully, but this replay has a great view of it. Just, that's what's going to give him the card, the kick when he's on the ground.
Number 31, Beckett Parkin.
Eagles have done a good job controlling their emotions so far. This has really been the first slip-up we've seen.
It looked like Parkin a little frustrated there with that collision. The offensive player for the Owls going down pretty quickly on that one. And then Parkin, kind of the after the play things that the Eagles just need to avoid out there. So it will be a free kick here in a good spot. Be Hayden Bay to take this one. The one-man wall in Alvarez. Not a whole lot of worry here of Bay trying to put this one on frame.
Yeah, this is a modified version of the corner. They're going to play this like a corner. You can see them lining up. They're going to all try to do these runs. The only difference here is you could get called for offsides.
Eagles trying to hold them here right around the penalty spot. See what Bay tries to play this one in. Going to be a high ball. This one well too wide, though. You need that ball a lot closer towards the back post. That one just didn't really curl in for him.
Yeah, no curl on it. Normally you like to see a little bit of curl into the last two players. That one just looked like he got on the wrong part of the foot, just went straight across the whole field.
So Parkin will exit immediately here. Obviously receiving that yellow card, Coach Bermuda is taking no chances. Up 3 in this one. You don't need to receive that second yellow, potentially get a red card, miss a few games.
It's one of those things in the North Atlantic Conference too. That team sees you get a yellow card, they're all about it. They want you to get that second yellow. They love seeing your team go down to 10 men. It just provides a little bit more of an advantage.
Well, it almost puts a target on your back, yeah. I think, when you get that first yellow. Especially when you're the only guy with a yellow card. It allows teams to kind of attack you a little bit more, try to get you to draw those fouls. You're in the official's book already. You're on his watch list. It kind of makes it a lot easier. The odds of you getting that second yellow are a lot higher than getting a first yellow card out there. Montigny dropping it back to Chamberlain.
However, it does break the streak on the season of Umpy being the only team not to get a yellow, for Husson to get a yellow card against.
Yeah, the only one foul in that first half definitely changed here in this second one. So it'll be Umpy possession here down inside their own 18. A good punt well past the field, or midfield that is, but taken right back by the Eagles. Samongo going out wide to Montigny here. Montigny trying to put a little move on down in front of the Eagles bench. will go out wide for a throw-in. Chamberlain's going to just send this one down the line to Neto. Neto's going to drop it all the way back to him. Ball in from Chamberlain to Alvarez. The Eagles just trying to pick apart this team a little bit. I'm guessing that was meant to be a cross towards the back post there from Neto, but just didn't quite get around on it enough.
Yeah, same thing we said on that free kick down on the other end for Umpy, just no curl on it, just hit it on the wrong part of the foot. Fortunately, it goes dead straight instead of doing what you want it to.
And Gasser is going to flip this one back to the defense. Alvarez trying to send a ball up the line. It's going to be a foot race for it between Castellanos and Barrett. See who they give possession to. It will stay with Husson. Castellanos taking it quickly. I believe that's Noguera on the ball. Be out for a Umpy throw-in. So substitution coming on here for the Owls. Be number 9 in Billy Ray, who started this contest, coming back out there. You see how much this Eagles team fears that long throw of Hayden Bay. Pushed all the way back a good 20 yards away from him here. And that one's going to be initially won by Husson. Right back to the defense. Neto coming in fast. This one up top to Gasser. Second poke around, gets knocked down. That will be a whistle. Eagles getting their second free kick from right around the same spot.
Surprised that's not a card. That was a very aggressive challenge on a player who had a very clear scoring opportunity. With that one touch around, we can see it here. Gasser is just going to take a touch to the side, just all body on it. Normally that's a card. Referee's going to let him go with it.
Yeah, I'm very surprised to see no card there on that one. It's going to be Gasser and Alvarez over it. We saw Gasser take one of these direct earlier in the contest, put it high over the crossbar. About the same spot, really. Second chance, this one off the wall, though. That one flicked over to Alvarez. He's going to lose possession, though. Now taking it down the wing. Masamongo is going to come in and stop that counterattack.
Yeah, that's a tremendous play by Masamongo, realizing he did not have the numbers back. Do or die challenge right there. You have to make that play, or you're going to have bad numbers all the way back. With especially on that corner, or not corner, that free kick, all the numbers were pushed up. Even the defensive players only had 2 or 3 back.
And that one's going to get sent down the line. And so this one's going to be out for a corner kick opportunity. Or actually, it's a throw-in. So this is what we were talking about with those long throws. This is the other Bay brother actually here.
Yeah, look how far back he's getting. This is just not normal. What a throw-in.
That one sent front post. Almost a chance there. That was Barrett, I believe, who got ahead on it. Him or Shirley. Those long throws so dangerous. All the way back to the defense here. Taken away by Noguera. Noguera has Gasser on his right. He's going to take it himself. He should have made that pass potentially. He had Gasser wide open on his right side. Kind of had his head down.
Yeah, he'll be hearing about that one from Bermudez after this game. That is, you have to make that pass 10 times out of 10. I mean, you have 2 guys, one in front of you, one on the back, and a wide open teammate who's making that through ball run for you. That's one you have to make.
Great little heel ball there from Alvarez to find Masamongo. Noguera, second chance here. He might make the pass on this one. He's going to find Gasser. Gasser right in around goal, off the goalkeeper though. Alvarez, second chance. Score for the Eagles as Alvarez gets the rebound and puts her home.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the goalie looks hurt on this one, but that was a tremendous original play. Nogueira realized his adjustment within the span of a minute, right? That is a tremendous, thoughtful play. That's something you love to see. Through ball to Gasser. An original, it's a great stop, making himself wide, making the goal look less big, but Alvarez from distance, just no hesitation about it, puts it in. Just like that, it's 4-0.
Calm, cool, and collected there for Mario Alvarez. That's one that you could see a younger player might blast that one in there, but Alvarez just poking her home. And it'll be Masamongo and Weinstein exiting the game as Alvarez is going to drop back into that defensive role. Storm taking over at left back, and it'll be Zane Uden getting his first minutes here for the Eagles. The one that had a lot of hype, I think, around him coming into the season. He's been dealing with some injuries.
Yeah, if you ever get a free minute on YouTube, you should look up Zane Uden soccer highlights. It is a 20-minute highlight reel, and it is probably the best plays I've ever seen being made. They are tremendous plays from distance. He just does a great job. He's speedy, he's quick, and he makes offensive plays happen.
And first chance here for him. That one just wide left. That would have been perfect timing, Caden, as we were hyping him up. I think that one took a touch off of a defender, so not exactly on him for the miss there.
Yeah, tremendous back through the midfield, tremendous read to come down on it. As a back midfielder, those are the plays you have to realize. Watch the play set up in front of you as it's coming back down. Tremendous job from Zane getting in on it.
So Castellanos will take this one. This one's going to get taken short to Alvarez, trying to find back post. Good header there from Bay. Alvarez, second chance. That one well too high, though. Actually kind of bent in back towards goal.
Yeah, I think that one was a lot closer than we thought. It looked up here.
Kind of like right off his foot. It looked like it was going out into the parking lot, and that wound up being just a few yards outside. Seems like Palladino definitely, I think, still dealing with some stuff from that play there from Gasser. That one's going to stray wide for a umpy throw-in. And trying to fight for it there, Uden. Chamberlain taking his time to get up back behind the play, but this one up on the wing here. That's Neto on the ball. Neto's going to drop it back. This one a shot off the post there. That was Nogueira who had a chance at it. That was a great chance again, as Montigny will come in and knock that one off the defender.
And he just can't find the net right now, Nogueira. Another tremendous opportunity for him, just unfortunate. An eighth of an inch to the left, and that one's in the back of the net.
This is going to be a foul right on the edge of the box here. This is on Alvarez's side. It's a semi-tough angle here. We've seen him make one kind of from this angle, but from further back. But this is a very direct kick. We'll see if Alvarez obviously has a lot of bend on it. Only the two-man wall, kind of interesting. We'll see if he tries to bend it towards that upper right-hand corner. That was, I think, his intention, but just too high on it. Will be a goal kick here for Palladino. So far, this game's motored right along, Caden. These two teams, hasn't been a whole lot of fouls, not a whole lot of cards. Obviously, the 4 goals now for the Eagles. Now in that Thomas game, we had a lot of plays that were just kind of stop the clock, talk it through with the referee. Minute drips off, another minute here. That game ran pretty long.
Yeah, I believe that one was 2.5 hours. The girls' game normally is supposed to be half an hour after the men's game ends, and it's timed perfectly, giving you enough time for the stoppage, the half times. But I believe the girls' game was, or the women's game that is, was pushed back 45 minutes.
And Montigny not quite hitting that one cleanly. Strong tackle. Flag goes up on the foul there. Montigny kind of lost possession of the ball, was trying to regain it, got a little too aggressive on it though. That one's never going to make its way back inbounds here. It'll be out for a Husson throw. They're going to take it quickly here. Went back over to Pereira here. Pereira back over to Chamberlain now. Chamberlain finding Neto straying back on the defensive end. Neto with, or Nogueira that is, here with it. Gonna now hand it off to Neto. The Eagles team kind of pushing up the field a little bit, Caden. I think trying to kind of mime what they would be doing if you were down in a contest this late in the game. You're up those 4 goals. You can afford to allow a goal by pushing up the field a little bit. I think Husson just trying to learn this formation, kind of learn how they would play it in certain situations.
Especially when you haven't played in 6 days. It takes a toll on you, right? Because then you lose your game speed. I mean, it's probably going to take till that MMA game to fully feel like they're back into the motion of it, because it's going to be a lot of games in short amount of time compared to these last 2 weeks. It's been 2 games in 13 days. That is not normal for Husson Eagles soccer. I feel like normally last year it was pretty much every other day they were playing a game, barely any practice time.
Yeah, that one miscontrolled by the defense, but eventually kicked out. And I know this Husson team, I talked to some of the players during kind of midweek prior to this one. They've been working hard at practice after that Thomas game. Kind of what you would expect after losing 6-1 to your main rival in the conference. As Nogueira, another chance here. That one too wide though. But you would expect them to kind of have that strong week of practice out there, try to regain that form a little bit. And they've actually played really well here today so far.
Yeah, they've done a tremendous job at doing what we wanted to see them do, right? And that was revamp the offense. They had to get something going. There was no way they could allow just these 1-goal games and just think strictly, oh, we got 1 goal, that's going to be okay. In D3 men's soccer, you got to get at least 2 or 3 to feel comfortable with a game. A lot of games can get out of hand quickly, but a lot of games have those small comebacks, goals happening in short amount of time.
This one sent in towards the middle. Castellanos winning that first header. And it's going to be Neto who's going to send it out wide, out of play. Creeping in on 10 minutes left here in this contest. We're going to have the women's team taking on the Owls directly after this one. I believe that one's scheduled to tip off around 7:30. Chamberlain with possession here, back to Pereira. Into the middle now to Nogueira. Eagles right now just content up 4 to pass this one around the backside of the defense. I wouldn't be surprised if they continue to try to push it up the field, though, even with the comfortable lead. Just kind of like what we mentioned, to build that kind of sense of formation of if you were down 1-0 in this at this point in the game, what would we be doing on the offensive end? We wouldn't have the time to waste to just pass it around on the defense. This one dribbling around. That's Castellanos on the possession. He's going to find Gasser through. Tries to cut back past the goalkeeper. Gasser gets his goal as he dribbles around the keeper. Keeper just going to punt that one up the field. Pretty goal there from Gasser as he dekes out the keeper.
Yeah, sweet feet right there. Just doing a tremendous job getting the pass, working his way around it, deking the keeper out, which is always a fun thing to do. So we'll see it right here. Little touch around the dive. Now he can just take his time, put it in, easy enough, and that's his second goal of the day.
And we've seen Gasser have numerous chances so far in this contest, but I don't think quite managed to get on the board before that one. Obviously, you had that one with Nogueira right on his left side, didn't make the pass. You had a second one where he had the chance that went right into the goalkeeper's stomach that bounced right back out to Alvarez, who scored that one. He's had a couple free kick chances. You had that one that was bouncing right in the box. Really, Gasser has had some good chances but hasn't managed to capitalize, but managed to capitalize on that one.
Certainly have said his name a ton in this game. Finally gets on the board. I was thinking of the Alvarez one before, but he's just done a great job. Kind of see him, like you kind of see his emotion on the field sometimes when he doesn't score a goal. It was kind of like he had the yips. Like there was a lot of times in the Thomas game where he was putting the shot on net. It was a good quality shot, just was not good enough to put in the back of the net. He went the entire game. This one you can kind of see the emotions trying to get to him where he's just like frustrated with himself, doing a tremendous job in this one, sticking with it, putting another goal on the board for the Eagles.
And Castellanos trying to get around the outside on that one, but it'll be out wide for a goal kick. Yeah, I think Gasser definitely feels a lot more comfortable in more of a attacking role out there. Obviously a talented player, but I think struggles a little bit sometimes with kind of that boring little passing in that midfield. Definitely a lot stronger with the ball in and around the goal. Be a Husson throw-in. Chamberlain going out wide to Gasser now. Gasser finding Neto. Gasser wide open in the middle. This one back post. Goal! Alvarez with his second as he gets on top of that one. This Eagles formation is starting to work well.
Yeah, you can kind of see it. It's starting to click. They're just doing a tremendous job right now, finding each other, finding ways around the back line. And they are just starting, the waterfalls are just going right now. Just a tremendous pass from Nadeau. Obviously, that's a tough angle, too. He can't really see Mario. He just got to kind of assume that he's there. Puts it perfectly where he would be if he kept running. Just a tremendous play from everybody.
Yeah, the floodgates have officially opened, I think, on the offensive end for the Eagles. Like you said, Neto just trying to put something into the middle. If the formation is working well and if guys are playing well, there's going to be someone on that back post. That's kind of the first thing you get taught, I think, offensively in soccer. And Alvarez was that guy getting his second of the game. As that will make it 6-0 all of a sudden now for the Eagles. 5 goals now in the second half for Husson. And we definitely picked a good player to highlight in this pregame. Alvarez getting the assist on that Montigny goal. He's really a kind of quarter, little bit of hair and a little bit of head away from having a hat trick right now in this one, with the Olympico goal thrown in there. Obviously, the Gasser goal, or the goal off of the Gasser shot, was kind of just right place, right time. This one getting headed around by the Eagles. And right around down in front of the box here. And fighting for it now. This one's going to get sent up the field. Herrera out back now to Bermudez. Dangerous little touch there right in front of him. Gasser almost poking that one away. It will get possession back. Now breakaway, as that was a good step there on the defensive end. I would have put the betting odds on Gasser if he had been able to kind of turn with that one and then have the 1v1. Would have, with all that space behind the defender, been able to just kind of poke it long and then outrun him. Neto trying to find one into Nugera, but that one's going to be collected by Palladino. Palladino taking his time with this one, creeping down to 5 minutes left. Tried to roll that one down in front of him and then took his time a little too long. A good run onto it by, that's Nugera. Nugera getting up a little gimpy after that one. Like he ran it off pretty quickly though. As actually Nugera going to go down behind the play here. And I think that could be another one similar to what we talked about with Morato. That you don't want to leave Nugera in a close contest. You might leave Nugera out there, try to get him to run through it, but in this one, just going to make the substitution.
Especially only with 4:49 left to go in this game right now.
Looked like Nugera just colliding with the goalkeeper, who had to kind of come in and slide in. No, I think we've probably both made those plays out there on the field. Those ones where you get just kicked straight in the ankle. Just a bad connection out there. Alvarez almost nice little bit of footwork down there. Now fast break opportunity here for the Owls. Trying to slow this one down, trying to put that's Castellanos in the blender, but Castellanos says no sir and takes that one right back. Herrera out wide to Chamberlain. And I think just a little bit of a rush pass there on that one. Throw in coming in, it's going to get headed out wide. So it will be another throw in upcoming here for the Owls. Going to be Bay who's going to take this one. Seen him have some big throws from down here in this corner. That one sent in towards the box. It's going to be Uden who's going to come out and get that one. If Neto's on side, he'll win this foot race. Flag goes up though, he was offsides.
Yeah, he just had that extra step across half field. You kind of saw it developing that way, where he just had a little bit too much space, it looked like, compared to where everyone else was around that half field mark. That's going to be offsides every time. He's asking how, but from our angle where we're directly on that half field line, it was quite obvious.
That one sent well up the field. Uden's going to rise up, get there first. That's going to be a foul there on Pereira. He's got a little too physical there on that 50-50 ball. About 2.5 minutes left here in this one. This one a ball in towards the box. Too far, though, and Bermudez will catch that one easily. Taking his time to get back to his feet here. Eagles, I think at this point, just trying to get out of this contest. You don't want to get any more injuries out there, any more cards. Obviously, some of these guys would love to have a few more goal chances. Kind of at that point in the game where it's already wrapped up at this point. You're just trying to get back home, get to the locker room.
Yeah, and they've just done everything you would kind of want them to do today, right? They possessed the ball, they counterattacked well. I mean, that was something we were going to talk about, right? I mean, you have to establish the counterattack against these better teams, especially like in Thomas the other day. They had no counterattack. They had no versatility going from defense to offense. All they had was that midfield possession waiting for that spot to open up. They were a little bit more aggressive today, and it shows on the scoreboard.
And the Owls will fall to 2-7 on the season, 0-6 in conference, though, and that's the bigger number out there. As we're going to look to try to flip their season around a little bit. Still 4 more conference games left on their schedule. They're going to travel down to Massachusetts this weekend to take on Leslie and Fisher College. Fisher not in the North Atlantic Conference, but one of the teams that this Owls team plays twice. They lost to Leslie 1-4 earlier in the season. On the flip side, the Eagles will improve to 5-2-1, including 2-1 in conference play. Obviously, we saw them have that big loss to Thomas, and we mentioned kind of their upcoming schedule, taking on Farmington on Friday before taking on Maine Maritime Saturday. Those 2 games, pretty short turnaround for the Eagles. Chamberlain sending this one into the field. Etcheverse is just going to dribble this one into the middle. Has a player on his back. She's going to drop it off to DeSorm. That should just about close out the half here, as Eagles will come away victorious, Caden. A 6-0 victory here over the Owls.
Yeah, and again, just tremendous. They did all the little things right. Everything we wanted, everything you could have asked them to improve on against that Thomas game, they came out here and proved it. It's a great momentum booster into going into what should be a very long weekend, and a weekend that we're going to be watching very closely. That's going to determine if we'll be back for the home stretch of the North Atlantic Conference East play.
Yeah, the Eagles looking to make it 3 straight seasons with that hosting role, Caden. Obviously, I think it plays a big advantage when you have that home team. Traveling to Thomas wouldn't be too bad for the Eagles, only an hour trip down the highway. But it's just, I think it's nice to have kind of that home crowd. The Eagles fans always show up well for Husson. You have that home crowd, you get to sleep. You don't have to travel down to the school. I think it definitely helps to be that #1 seed. Obviously, I think us up here in the booth, we always love doing playoff games.
Yeah, I might be biased.
As the Eagles, pretty dominant in this one. They'll take home the 6-0 lead. We'll see them back in action on Friday at 4 o'clock. But for now, Caden, it's been a pleasure here on the Husson Eagles Sports Network. I'm Avery Henningsen alongside Caden Tronovith. Have a good rest of your evening.